Welcome to Midwest Paranormal Presents Paranormal Soup. And we're back after, what, 3 weeks? Yeah, I had a flooded basement. It kept us away, but I am happy to be back. Even though I don't feel so hot tonight, I think I'm coming down with something. That sucks, but I'm just still happy to be back. I don't care. I was like, come hell or literally high water, we're going to do this show tonight. So I got my basement dried out. We are back. And tonight, we missed, when it first flooded, we were going to have an ITC collective show. And we had to cancel it. So tonight, our friend of ours was a guest, luckily, is Glennie Sewell is with us. He's a paranormal investigator from Vermont, and he is also into ITC research. So we figured second half of the show, we're going to do a little bit of ITC and let people call in. So just to get a little bit of that, since we couldn't do the ITC collective show going on. I hear Glennie, you're making noise in the background, Glennie. I can hear you. But speaking of that, what we're going to do every Sunday night is the World Wide Web of Weird. We want to get into that, and we're going to talk to Glennie. You can call in, too, if you want to ask Glennie a question tonight. Feel free if you want to call into the show after the second half, if you want to talk to him as well. All right, guys, let's get to our guest. All right, so tonight we have our friend Glennie with us. How you doing tonight, Glennie?
I'm all right. How are you doing tonight?
Doing good. Yeah, so we're going to do the World Wide Web of Weird, Glennie. Feel free to jump in at any time with us. I love anybody's input. Interrupt me at any time, but I want to get through it quick because I want to get to our interview. And thank you again for being cool about doing the ITC part, second half of the show. To join us for that. So thank you so much. Because, I was like, oh, I got a friend on tonight. I can ask. Because I missed it. I wanted to do the ITC Collective show 3 weeks ago. I was so pumped. And then, we hadn't done one in 3 months. So I was totally wanting to do it. Of course, joining us every Sunday night is our beautiful co-host, Jamie D. How you doing tonight, Jamie?
Doing great and really excited to be back tonight.
Yeah. Dry basement. And then Bill Perry Padera himself is there. How you doing, Pumpkinhead Paranormal? We're ready to do some ITC. It's been, like I said, over 3 months since we've done it, I think, on this show. So I'm totally ready. Rob might join us. He's been working a lot. We don't know. Hopefully Rob can join us tonight and join in on some of the spirit boxing. Maybe he'll make it by the second half of the show. We start doing that. All right, guys, let's do what we do every Sunday night is the World Wide Web of Weird. Tonight on the World Wide Web of Weird, we got the first three are kind of updates on stuff we've talked about previously on the World Wide Web of Weird. We are streaming live out to Late Night in the Midlands Radio Network. For anybody listening on that network, we do show videos and pictures sometimes. So if you ever want to check that out, there's the Midwest Paranormal Presents Paranormal Soup Facebook page. We'll have the full show on video there. Right now, we're live there. And you can also check it out on YouTube. Sometimes I make separate edits of just the World Wide Web of Weird. I don't always get to it, but I try once in a while, especially when I feel like it's a good one. Maybe tonight will be, but there are some updates. So let's start off. We talked about the Cuba sonic attacks before. Well, maybe they're saying they were accidental. All right, so yes. We have the Cuban sonic attacks. Let me get the share screen up. We got Jeffrey Chan, our video engineer, sharing the World Wide Web of Weird tonight. This comes from Unexplained Mysteries. Cuba's sonic attacks could have been accidental. Scientists may have found an alternative explanation for the strange sounds heard by diplomats in Havana. The phenomenon, which has targeted embassy personnel and has sparked a breakdown of international relations between Cuba and the United States, was first made public in August. Thought to involve the use of sonic weapons, the attacks have been directly targeting the hotel rooms of the U.S. diplomats and included a range of symptoms that include hearing loss, dizziness, balance problems, visual complaints, headache, fatigue, cognitive issues, and difficulty sleeping. Man, that just sounds like everything I've been going through for the last few days. Maybe I'm under sonic attack. It's the Russians. No. It's the Cubans. No. No, it's a 2-year-old with eczema that's keeping them up all night. All right. Now through computer scientists from the University of Michigan believe that they may have finally solved the mystery, and these are so-called attacks may actually be entirely accidental. I love this part, though. We'll get to the why I think it's funny that they say it's accidental. The key, they argue, lies in the interference produced when two ultrasound listening devices are placed too close together. Such an intense sound could account for some of the symptoms being experienced by the victims. So what they're saying is listening devices, that they have these listening devices in these hotels are causing this frequency because they're too close together. Such an intense sound could account for some of the symptoms being experienced by the victims. The team reached this conclusion by reverse engineering a recording of the audio by combining various ultrasound sources in an attempt to reproduce what the diplomats would have heard. When a second inaudible ultrasonic source interfered with the primary inaudible ultrasonic source, intermodulation distortion created audible byproducts that share spectral characteristics with the recording, they wrote. While their findings are inconclusive, their explanation of these incidents certainly is compelling. Devices put in by the Cubans could have caused problems that no one knew could happen, said former U.S. diplomat James Casson. If this finally solves the mystery of the sonic attacks, it's like the Cubans will never admit it. They would have to recognize that there have been eavesdropping devices everywhere, and that they will never say. And that's the thing. It's like it's accidental, but in a way, it's they didn't mean to make all those people sick, but they're listening in on them. That's what's going on. And I figured it was going to be something like that. They're listening in. They're diplomats. They got all kinds of bugs and devices everywhere probably around them. I would not want to be a diplomat in Cuba. All right, moving on. Another one. What were you
Jason,
gonna say? Yeah.
do you think that's what all those mysterious blasts are that people are reporting around the States too?
What blast?
I'll catch you up later.
Okay. No, this would just be in Cuba because they got these listening, devices, bugs, and they're putting out ultra high sonic frequencies that you can't hear with the ear.
Jason.
Yeah.
Do remember though that this is just a public explanation being given over to us.
True.
I'm not sure what the actual reason is, but I swear that's something like that is not accidental.
No, that's what I'm saying. But it's funny they say it's accidental because of all their eavesdropping devices to me. It's like, oh yeah, they're spying crazily on us while we're down there. All right, this is another one that we've talked about numerous times. It's a favorite subject of mine. It's my meat on the stick question. My wife knows what that is if she's listening. But we've talked about this on the World Wide Web of Weird, and it's getting closer to reality. Lab-grown meat could go on sale by the end of the year. From Unexplained Mysteries again. Clean meat that has been grown in a laboratory could become available to buy within a matter of months. The world's first lab-grown burger, which has been developed by a team in the Netherlands, cost a whopping $325,000 to produce when it first came out. It was seen as a major milestone in the development of new and sustainable food sources that could help feed our planet. Not if it costs $325,000, but now a mere 5 years after that accomplishment, it looks as though the lab-grown meat may soon become an actual viable, affordable alternative to traditional animal-based meats. According to Josh Tetrick, CEO of Clean Meat Manufacturers, just lab-grown meat products such as chicken nuggets and sausages could be available to order before the end of 2018. He predicts that the restaurants in USA and Asia will be the first to offer the new products. However, there's still regulatory issues that will need to be solved before this can happen. Even animal charity PETA has been investing in lab-grown meat technology over the last few years. We believe it's the first important step towards realizing the dream of one day putting environmentally sound, humanly produced real meat into the hands and mouths of people who insist on eating animal flesh. I can just hear the vegetarian's little condescending, snotty voice saying that. We'll see. We'll see how this stuff tastes and if it's like actually good for you. I don't know. I'm a logical person. I think, definitely large amounts of meats that we consume, and I'm a meat eater, is definitely harmful on the environment, and it's not the most logical process. But Don't tell me
And
I
it's
have to. Don't tell.
inhumane.
Yeah, what the PETA people want is to stop it all together. And here, you'll eat this lab-grown stuff. Don't ask what's in it. But it's not meat. Screw you, PETA.
Don't ask, don't tell.
All right, like I can't trust all the food as it is. All the fake crap that we have to eat. You can't even trust anything. I'm gonna trust the lab meat too. Sure, okay, whatever. It's gonna be a McDonald's. McDonald's will be the first one to drop on board because they probably haven't been giving anybody meat for many years. Okay, next one. This is another update. This comes from dailywire.com. We've talked about a couple times Amelia Earhart. Remember the History Channel thing? They totally blew the poop on that one. They thought they had a picture of her and she survived, and they totally didn't do the research on it. This is something that happened a long time ago, but they're just finding out they might have found her bones many years ago. A scientist 99% sure bones found belonged to missing aviator Amelia Earhart. It's a mystery that's captivated the world since famed aviator Amelia Earhart disappeared on July 2nd, 1937. On the longest leg of her around-the-world flight from Papua New Guinea to Howland Island, a trip 2,556 miles, Earhart suddenly disappeared. Speculation and conspiracy theories abound. She landed safely on a remote island, she was captured by Japanese, or even that she turned back and assumed another identity. A new scientific study now claims to have solved that enduring mystery of what happened to her. Scientists have concluded that the bones near 80 years ago on a remote Pacific island are almost definitely those of Amelia Earhart. Richard Janus, an anthropology professor at University of Tennessee, argues that the bones discovered on the Pacific island of Nakamura in 1940 were likely Earhart's remains. The research contradicts a forensics analysis of the remains in 1941 that described the bones as belonging to a male. Janus says those bones are 99% matched for Earhart. The scientists used bone measurement analysis to determine that the remains match estimates of Earhart's bone links, the York Daily News. The problem is that the bones went missing. Now, they could never look back at those bones and get more of an identity. They went missing somehow, which is sad. So probably this mystery, 99% solved, maybe, but nobody's going to totally ever know. It's so sad. All right, let's move on. Number 4. This I thought was a cool story. This comes from the odditycentral.com. Ghost hitchhiker vanishes into thin air, leaving burnt footprints on a car mat. There's a video interview of the guy and all that, and a translation and all that, but I'm not going to play that. But this is we're showing for people listening on Late Night in the Midlands Radio Network, we're showing a picture of a car floor mat. It's like a rubber floor mat, and there you can see, I don't know if it comes out so well in the video or not, but you can see 2 light footprints. Now, it looks like maybe somebody's feet were wet, but according to this story, it's actually the rubber melted. So, an Argentinian man has been making news headlines all over South America for experiencing a bizarre paranormal phenomenon. A hitchhiker he picked up from the side of the road allegedly disappeared from the front passenger seat of his truck, leaving behind only burnt smell and melted shoe marks on the rubber car mats. Pedro Perion from the town of San Jose de la Esquina, I totally butchered that, I'm sorry, in Santa Fe, was driving home on February 26 when he saw a young man hitchhiking on the side of the road. As he often did on business trips around Providence, Perion pulled over and offered to give the boy a ride. Man, Perion, what century are you living in? We don't pick up hitchhikers anymore, man. It's just not a good idea. You're going to have a bad time. Okay, although the hitchhiker was a bit shy and reserved, Pedro says he seemed to be a regular teen, the likes of which is often picked up. And why are you picking up teenage boys, Perion? I'm just wondering why. Why are you picking up teenage boys? I don't know, buddy. I think we should be looking at you, but okay. But while he can hardly remember the faces of most of the people he's given rides to throughout the years, the memory of this particular boy will probably stay with him for the rest of his life. Looking back on the events that transpired that day, Pedro wishes he had learned more about his mysterious passenger. As he was able to get out of him was that he came from the neighboring town of Artiga and that he was 17 years old. Excuse me one second. Damn tickle in my throat. When asked if he was going all the way to San Jose, the boy said no, adding that he will let Perion know where he'd like to get out. He finally asked me to drop him off at the junction with a road leading to the cemetery, of course. And as soon as I got there, I sensed an awful burning smell, Pedro told the reporters. I stopped to see if something had caught fire, got out to check the back of the truck, and as soon as I turned around, I noticed there was no one inside. The startled driver went to check the front passenger seat more thoroughly, but all he found were 2 footprints melted into the rubber of the car mat and that lingering burnt smell. He looked around to see if the boy had just ran out faster than he could spot him, but there was no sign of him anywhere and no other footprints. Some friends of Pedro happened to drive by moments later and helped him look for the hitchhiker for a while, but they couldn't find anything. They're like, oh, there's Pedro picking up another teenage boy. He probably ran for it. Unable to explain what happened, Pedro went to the police and told them the whole story. And you think the police would say, hey, picking up teenage boys? Sorry, I just think it's a little odd. Word of his experience spread around San Jose de la Esquina, and soon the man was contacted by dozens of TV and radio stations and interviews. He even took some of the reporters to the place where the hitchhiker allegedly vanished from his truck and showed him the burnt shoe prints melted in the mat. Sorry, I am so dealing with like a chest cold and other stuff. Ugh. The media did a little digging on Perion as well to find out if he was the kind of man who would make up such an unusual story, or the kind of man who likes to pick up teenage boys and they disappear. But everyone I talked to described him as an upstanding member of the community and a hardworking man and a good Catholic. Perion himself admitted that he was always put his faith of the Blessed Virgin Mary and never really believed in paranormal activity until this unexplained mystery. But that bizarre occurrence he explained last month has left him a bit confused. I'm a little stressed, nervous, and I'm not afraid, but I just explained what happened, the man said in an interview. He's probably somebody good faith, Cherry. I have to pick on it, but seriously, dude, don't pick up teenage boys. Don't.
Rose in chat says it could have been combustion.
Yeah. Combustion, no. That quick, no. No, not that quick. That's dematerialization and melted footprints. That was dematerialization of some kind that guy witnessed. Or maybe he started to make a move on the teenage boy. I'm just saying, and the ghost was like, "Hey, I'm out." No, I know it's awful. I'm an a-hole. But
Jason.
I think the worst of people.
No kidding.
What'd you have to say, Glennie?
You said you think the worst of people, and I said no kidding.
All right, but let's move on. I want to get to the show. So this next one is a hiker captures footage of a yowie. I'm not sure if I'm getting that right. At an ancient massacre site. So can you spot him? And I just put the blurred picture up that we're going to have here. I'm going to get back to share screen there. It's coming out really blurry on this end. I don't think you can see it very well, but you can find the picture on the article on dailymail.co.uk. Hitchhiker captures footage of Yahweh at an ancient massacre site. Let me see. This article's being weird on me. Kingaroy photographer Christian Anderson captured the photo of Maiden Wells, Combo Falls, about 200 kilometers north of Brisbane this week. Mr. Anderson said he showed the image to the Maidenwell locals who believed he netted an image of an age-old folklore creature. Tell me what this is. I'm curious, he said. Speaking to the Daily Mail Australia on Tuesday, Mr. Anderson said he was always got a spooky feeling when he visited the Combo Falls. This place is a spiritual place, and whenever I take a photo there, I always capture something, he said. Combo Falls was home to a massacre of 300 Aboriginal people in the 19th century. European settlers reportedly killed hundreds of indigenous people, including women and children. Jeez. Well, when Mr. Anderson posted a suspicious photo to his Facebook page, it garnered mixed reactions from his followers. Oh, wow, I didn't stay. There's comments here. We'll skip past the comments. It'd be one of the local ghosts before a Yahweh, one woman said. So some people think it's either the creature like a Bigfoot creature, or they think it's a ghost of an Aboriginal person from the massacre. But it's really blurry. And in the original picture, I like I said, I didn't put it on here. It's like way far in the background. You have to like really zoom in to see this figure, very dark figure. So I don't know. But I thought it was kind of interesting. I don't know. Let's move on. Number 6 here. This was I seen very popular. This is from Daily Mail. I saw a lot of people posting pictures of this. This is from the Antarctica. The revealed alien spaceship spotted by conspiracy theorists on Google Earth in Antarctica is simply a piece of ice from a nearby mountain, experts explain. I don't think you have to be an expert of it. So this is a picture that's been going around. People have been talking about. This is a UFO crash landed in Antarctica. But I just want to point out, and this is what this article points out. I'm not going to read the whole thing because it's very simple to me. Another angle of it here, this is another angle from Google Earth. You can see a mountain right there and a big chunk of it totally distorted from snow, from an avalanche. and it it came down, and something, just a rock, a boulder, or something, went down the hill and kept on going and left a path. So you can check this out on dailymail.co. If you saw this post around saying it's a crashed UFO to Antarctica, I think the explanation Daily Mail gives for it is, I think that's pretty legit. That sounds like a logical explanation. So, yeah, not a UFO. Cool though. I love this stuff. I've seen there's some night I have to have a Google Earth night. We just go on Google Earth and have some fun on the show, because I found some things on Google Earth I'd love to point out that I'm like, does anybody know what this is? All right, this last one, this was from fox6now.com. This is, like I said, I'm 3 weeks behind on the World Wide Web of Weird, and I wanted to cover this one like 3 weeks ago. What in the world? An eerie scene over downtown Milwaukee captured by camera. Milwaukee, it might be the strangest thing you've seen on Fox 6 News all season, and has created quite a viral story. I can't play the audio from this video. Hear the newscasters talking about, like, what is this in the background? What is that? What is that? Because you see, like, these lights, like, flying around and all that. The only explanation that's really been offered for what this is that they believe it's a flock of seagulls. I'm not a video expert, I'm not, but really? Like, from the city lights, a flock of seagulls like that would look like that? I mean, they look big. They look big. I mean, I know light can make an illusion and distortion big, but they look way bigger than what seagulls would. Look at that.
That's not a flock of damn seagulls.
No.
No.
It's more likely to be the 1980s one-hit wonders flock of seagulls up the sky flying around with jetpacks or something. I think an actual flock of seagulls. I don't know. I'm still up on this one. I just, the flock of seagulls explanation just doesn't really do it for me. I just don't see how it's possible. I mean, maybe they're right. Maybe it's just we're being all, it's an illusion. But it reminds me of that Ghostbusters scene, when the spirits come out of the tower and are flying around. That's what it reminds me of.
That looks like an orbital battle is what it looks like.
And they used to talk about, you've seen enough Ancient Aliens to see them, like, show these pictures of people, like, drawings from medieval times of, like, this was an orbital battle between spaceships. Well,
I actually looked this one up.
Yeah.
And I found a picture of somebody in Rome that actually slowed a flock of seagulls down significantly to where all you see are the tails. And that was the closest I could get to something like this.
And did it look like this? Did it look like it?
It did without the birds, but you could see, like, the erratic pattern.
Maybe they're right. Maybe it's a flock of seagulls. I don't know. Man, that's crazy. They look so big.
But I don't know where the birds went in the picture. It was just like the line. So if they slowed it down, it's like, but where's the actual, bird? So I'm not for sure.
And look how they have, like, tails, like a mist, like a tail. I don't know. I mean, maybe they're right. Maybe it's possible. I don't know. Maybe it's flock of seagulls. Maybe it's the 1980s band with jetpacks, flock of seagulls. I don't know. Or it's UFOs, or it's spirits. I don't know. That's what it reminds me of, this Ghostbuster scene. All right, well, let's get on to the show. We need to get to our first commercial break, guys. For people watching on Facebook, you're going to hear a little bit of quiet because we play music out to Late Night in the Midlands radio network, so you won't hear us for a minute or so because I can't play music on Facebook. I don't want to get in Facebook jail. But on Late Night in the Midlands, we do. All right, guys, we'll be back with our guest, Glennie Sewell. And then later on, ITC, Spirit Boxes. Call in the show and see if the spirits want to talk to you. All right, guys, we'll be right back. All right, tonight's guest, Glennie Sewell. She's from a paranormal investigator from Vermont. Is one of our friends from the ITC Collective. Experimenter in the Spirit Boxes. Last time we had him on, we talked about the Elisa Lam case because he's been to that hotel. Very interesting. Glennie's a friend of the show. He agreed to do the second half of the show with us to do Spirit Boxes, so we're going to do that later after the second commercial break. But let's go ahead and get to our guest. Getting a little clicking from your end, Glennie. Are you clicking something?
No, I'm not touching anything.
I think it's the headphones.
Don't quite know how, but it's not touching anything.
Okay. Stop there. I was getting clicking, like when I could tell.
Very strange because it wasn't touching anything.
Oh, there it is again. Huh.
That's very strange.
Hopefully
I think it happened last time too, a little bit.
A little bit. Hopefully it doesn't do too bad tonight. So, how are you tonight, Glennie? Glad to have you back.
I'm doing okay. I appreciate it. I think it's been a year.
Yeah, yeah, it has been. And we weren't on Late Night in the Midlands Radio Network, I don't think, then. So go ahead, and we might have new listeners in that. Go ahead and tell the audience a little bit about yourself.
I guess it all depends on what folks want to know. I run a small paranormal investigation organization called Messenger Guardians Paranormal. I am also the faculty advisor to Norwich University Paranormal Society, which wasn't around at the time. Well, we had only just really begun unofficially at the time I did this a year ago, but we didn't become official until just a month or so ago. But and the society asked me to be their advisor, and they started up on their own. So they got the name from me, and I said, if you're interested, go for it. But a few weeks later, they asked me if I would be the advisor. So I'm doing that along with teaching my regular English courses at Norwich University. So as a matter of fact, Norwich University pushed me into doing a lot of the paranormal society things or paranormal things, teaching paranormal investigation and literature. And I do a lot of that too. Amazingly, a military college pushed me to
That's awesome.
to teach about it. Yes, it's amazing the things that really do happen and how you can't be surprised by things you would never guess would want to hear from that. But yeah, they're so involved in it in our over the decades that yeah, they want to hear about it. They want to know about it.
That's cool. Military school of all places to be interested in that.
Oh,
That's
yes.
awesome. So, like I said before, last time you were on, we talked a little bit. You went to the Cecil Hotel.
Yes.
Where Lisa Lamb, we've featured a number of times, talked about. This is such an interesting subject. When people aren't familiar, go type in Elisa Lamb on YouTube, and you'll find the video of her final moments before she disappeared into a water tank and found, supposedly accidentally drowned.
Well, what you'll also find in that video, and I just showed my students that video this past Thursday, is you'll notice that in the corner of the elevator, as she finally disappears, she does not completely, her body does not fully compensate for someone that was standing at the
There's a
corner.
foot.
There's a foot, and someone says, "Oh, it's the back of her foot." No. When she passes through, her whole body does not compensate for moving around that person. She moved through whoever that was, and then the foot moves.
Yeah.
Pulls off to the left, and that's it. And I had to roll it back for my students so they would see it. So yeah.
Man, I want to be in your class. I want to be in your class. That sounds awesome. Well, I had that kind of classes. I did actually take paranormal class through Purdue North Central out here. Me and my wife both did. We took two different ones many years ago. So, some colleges are definitely more open to it for sure. But
I would like to officially teach a class in it, which I don't have, and it would take a while to get something like that started. But yeah, I would love to teach a full semester course on paranormal investigation and literature. That would be a heavy course, but I would love to do it.
Oh yeah, definitely. You speak of literature. I mean, like some of the classic authors back in the day, like Sir Arthur Conan Doyle, was very much into like the early days of paranormal, like strings and talcum powder and the basics of paranormal investigating back then. Some of our original authors were into the paranormal investigating. They were skeptics too. They were very inquisitive minded, but they definitely looked into it.
Yes, there are several authors and a lot of English authors as well. From the 19th century that were completely into it, and they were into looking at the scientific side of it, and they were also into calling out the fakesters, and there were a lot of fraudsters in the time.
Oh yeah,
a lot of them. A couple of psychic sisters who were defrauding people pretty consistently.
Things haven't changed much.
Yes, they haven't. There are some things that are pretty decent, and then there are those, and on TV or not on TV, there are those who seek more fame than what they're actually doing, and it leads to me questioning the authenticity of a lot of it.
Yeah. Oh yeah, definitely. One of the things I didn't include in the World Wide Web of Weird tonight is like they had the Told Tom DeLonge to the Stars, his organization. Just ghosts, but on the UFO front, I feel like there's a lot of frauding going on. They got $2.2 million for that organization and donations or subscribers or whatever you want to call it. And they got more UFO footage coming out, but they still haven't gone back and explained why they released footage of a floating balloon and said that was a UFO. And it had been debunked years ago. It gave a different location. I mean, there's a lot of fraud seen on all fronts of the paranormal. I mean, it's always been there. Yeah. And even now on a national scale, like, oh, we got disclosure going on. I'm like, no, you don't. That ain't disclosure.
Right. it makes the Real Disclosure Project, which I'm also involved in, it makes them look stupid when others who really aren't being careful about what it is they're putting out say something that can be pretty easily flipped over. So yeah, we take on a lot of people who claim disclosure, and they either have a theory that is so messed up and so out there, and there are some theories that are out there, but that I think are might have a possibility a bit
Oh
serious.
yeah, trust me. Oh,
But
I have some theories of my own, man. They're
right.
probably way out there considered
Oh,
what people would think.
but there are others who get on, and I'm not going to name any here, of course, who are screaming and yelling and, and going cross-eyed and growling, and I'm kind of done with with that channel and their theories, because really they need medication or something or meditation, one or the other.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
So yeah, yeah,
Well, I know it's something that's always going to be. There's always going to be the legit stuff, and there's always going to be the fraudsters and the shills and the people that just
right.
want to get your money in that. And
And it screws the legit, and
Yeah.
it screws up the legitimate. Yeah.
Yeah, it does. It really does. And that's what I'm afraid with, like, the whole Tom DeLonge. Sorry to get off that subject, but I was something that I was going to mention tonight. Why I didn't include that in the World Wide Web
Right.
Weird, because that's very prominent right now. But I'm like, I'm over it. I'm over that whole
Right.
thing. You said you did
Right.
you're working in something with disclosure for, like,
Oh.
on the UFO front?
No, yeah, I would say yes. I'm just I use David Wilcox material in my class, and
Oh,
as
yeah,
far
yeah.
as so I use his stuff. I do trust him. Also, Dr. Stephen Greer, I use his material as well. I'm very there are certain very trustworthy people I believe are trustworthy from my point of view, from what I've analyzed, that I use material, and I'm really into the very carefully picked through disclosure project
I
material.
have to say this. So I know some people, the moment you said Stephen Greer, would totally disagree with you
Oh,
on
I'm
him.
sure they would. I'm
Yeah.
sure they would.
I'm up in the air about him. There's some stuff I've
He's-
seen I don't care for from him, and there's other stuff I've seen him. I mean, he definitely is somebody who's worked hard to try to get disclosure and tried
Right.
to get it out there. But there's some things he's done I would say I'm not happy with. That's
Right.
all I'll say.
Well, and I would say that that's also true of the other person I mentioned. There's some things
David
that,
Wilcox, yeah.
you know, but for the most part, David has done everything good to make sure he's published, and he's gone through a lot of grief, and they've all crossed each other's paths, and they don't try to say anything horribly bad about each other. So
No,
part of the
they never
legitimacy
have.
for me is when they don't try to top each other, and neither one of them have ever tried that, and that leads to for me, that makes them more legitimate for me. Even their faults and problems and their stuff, they still aren't out there to try and top each other, which again lends to their seriousness. And that's
You have
that's
to
the
work
reason
together.
why.
That's what you have
Yeah,
to work
and they
together.
are. Yeah, and they seem to be, and that's the one reason why. Again, there's no way you're going to be able to get anyone out there that doesn't have any faults or some problem with their material. But if they're not actually trying to top or one up the other, which they're not, neither one of those people are, then to me it lends to their credibility, because their faults are involved in that as well, and that I need to see those faults. People would need to see mine, as
yeah.
well. So.
Oh yeah, but now have you yourself witnessed a UFO?
I have seen some things that I truly do question. One of the first times that I can remember very well was in North Carolina in 1998. And I got to looking into the night sky, and I really wasn't looking for anything. But I got to staring at a certain point where there was a light that was changing colors rapidly, changing 2 or 3 different colors rapidly. And while the light was moving, it was moving in a sort of triangle fashion, and it kept moving with the same very quick movements. And so I said, "No, that's strange." And I looked away from it, looked back up again, and this thing was moving. I mean, it was truly making motions really fast and changing directions instantly, and it looked like it was in orbit. So I asked I called my father on this. I doubt he'd remember after 20 years, but I called him on it and asked him about it. I gave a description of it, and about the angle of the sky where I was seeing it. And he says, "Yeah, I know what you're looking at. I saw that back when I was a little boy." Now, my father back then was in his 60s, and it was in the 90s. And he said, "When I was a little kid, that was there." He goes, "That was up there. I know what you're looking at." So
something that's always been up there.
yeah, something that's been up there for a long time. It's been in orbit a long time. And so when I saw it and called him on it to see if he knew what I was looking at, he goes, I know exactly what you're looking at. And I know what you're looking at. I don't know what it's called or anything, but that's been up there where it keeps changing and going in some sort of triangle direction in the same spot of the sky, and it's changing light.
Well, you talked about
colors.
the Black Knight satellite, this thing that they
Right.
believe has been up there. You see all the viral articles. It's been up there 50,000 years and 3,000
Right, and it
years.
could have been. That's the thing. I don't know what I was looking at, but who knows what's been parked in our orbit by whom for how long?
Yeah,
So,
if you believe in the ancient alien hypothesis, and if they were here, and yeah, they probably would still have some. They would have their own satellites and stuff floating around up there. You would think.
oh yeah, oh
Some
yes. So
monitors.
therefore, that was the first most prominent time that I can remember. I can't speak to any other event, but that one stands out to me still very clearly to this day.
Now, we'll get back to your more ghostly encounters
Right.
and stuff. So, what have you been up to since the last time we talked when it comes to paranormal investigating? Last time I was all hyped up to talk to you about the Cecil Hotel because I went, it's one of my dreams to go visit that place. And people look it up.
Right.
Richard Ramirez, the Night Stalker. That's where he stayed while he was killing people. And then there was a copycat killer that stayed there. A lot of dark
Right.
history. Go look it up if you've never heard of it. American Horror Story Hotel season was totally, in my opinion,
Right.
based off of that. Go look it up. It's worth it. But let's get on to what you've been doing since the last time you've been on.
Well, I will say that, and I will go from that point out. So I did play a portion of that investigation to my students, and they were the ones that could hear. I made it up to the 15th floor of the building, and I promised them that I wasn't whispering anything, but you could hear someone curse over it, and then say the words in a very rough, dark, "Go home." And my students were the ones that put it together. And let me just say, it was the curse word and the "go home" and the word "would." They picked it to put it together and realized it was an entire sentence that was being said to me, and I
Was
heard
it the-
portions of it. Huh?
Was it the 15th floor where that elevator scene was?
No, she was that they think that was
I don't
somewhere
remember.
somewhere around the 6th floor, but the
Sixth
15th floor, the 15th floor is where the stairwell is located to the roof, which is
Gotcha.
exactly where I was standing, where I was coming to, and I pointed my camera right up at the stairwell, and that's where the word "home" and a popping sound in the background, which is normally the kind of sound that happens, that electrical snapping sound or electrical sound when something paranormal, something's trying to talk. There's a popping or snapping sound.
We're getting snapping and popping sounds from you tonight, so maybe we'll get some paranormal.
I can
maybe it's
tell
built
you
up.
because I can tell you this: I'm not causing it, and I'm not. Nothing is knocking against anything, and I'm not. My hand's not on my clicker. So, but
And actually, I just heard a faint, like, female. I'm gonna have to play this back. I just heard
yeah.
it.
Okay, but I wanted to tell you guys before you said that, just as you were saying that, I'm like, they tend to come in here when I'm doing stuff like this, and now I've got somebody touching all over me. And I left my bedroom door open in case, so that they could come in if they wanted to.
Oh,
So
boy.
while I was doing that.
Saying in chat, she saw something behind you, and I thought it was maybe the pixelation.
I saw something you guys type about pixelation in the chat room. I was like, okay, I'm gonna find out what that's about. Now, hold on,
But-
spirits.
But there's something, but yeah, there's something was touching all over me in that moment, but I didn't hear it, so I'm going to have to look back on this video after you put it
Yeah.
out. And
It's right when I was about to talk. It was like
Yeah.
underneath all three of us, and it was like.
But you didn't
"Oh."
say anything, right? Yeah, you heard it. You didn't say it, so you heard it
Yeah.
too. Yeah.
I
Well,
heard
Okay.
I know who. There are a few that are in the room now, but the thing is that I have the ability to feel that. Well, what's been going on now? Jamie probably told you we were in San Fran for a little
Yeah.
while, investigating the Presidio. At least at
Place
least
looked
the
beautiful.
the fort part of the Presidio. But I haven't seen any video of it yet, so I don't know if it's out.
I'm working on it.
I saw some
Yeah.
of it when she was like live streaming it from her phone. I'm guessing.
Oh.
The place looked beautiful.
It is. It really is. It very much attracted me to San Francisco. Also, I was doing an investigation in Ainsworth Hall at Norwich University, and it's not that I always think we're going to get something. It's like some of these TV shows that think there's always something. But we went up to the third floor of Ainsworth Hall, which is a very old house-like structure on campus. It had just been restored and renewed, so it's all new now. and all new in the sense the inside of it's new.
Right.
And its secondary, its second half building had to be completely knocked over and rebuilt to exact standards to what it looked like before. So yeah, there's a lot of newness in the building. And when we were walking down the hallway and going down the stairway, someone was cussing at us, dropped an F-bomb on us, and then essentially just told us to go straight down. Just was trying to get us, and it was a very military-like voice, which is a military college. So
Right.
it felt like it was a cadet from sometime long ago who didn't appreciate that we were up there. And a couple of our recording devices caught it. And yeah, we were consistently being cussed at and told where to get off.
Wow.
While we were up there. I didn't expect it, and yeah, so we've been doing work for that, and also various people call in, and my name gets spread around to folks who are having problems, and I have certain abilities to where I can sense how to help people through their issues, but a lot of phone contact. A lot of folks expect us to send out a team, an investigation team. I say, no, half the time we don't need to. Or more than half the time we don't need to. I just need to know certain details, and I'll get started on how to help them. A lot of the time, sending out a team directly in a situation that doesn't need it is just going to get whatever is there messed up further. Yeah, it's going to ramp it up. So that is not, people have to understand that that's not the first thing you want to do.
Yeah,
Right?
you always got to talk to the client and find out what's going on. There's been a couple times I've passed up an investigation. I'm like, this is not going to help you right now. This is definitely not going to help you.
And just, you're going to send a team of people and machines. It's like, no, you've just described to me something that if we did that, it'll ramp this up. So I need to use my own abilities along with some other mediums that I know who are legitimate, that I have contact with, that will help me. And then I meditate on it, and they help me decide what needs to be done. So that's pretty much how I operate right now. Because, when we say we have a team, an investigation team, it's just me until I need people to come together, and I can find the people I need. I select folks I need if that was necessary. So yeah.
Yeah, well, that's usually how it works, because it's not like you have a funded staff of people.
Right,
It's all volunteer.
Right, it's all volunteer, and it's my time, my dime. So I don't ask for money. No one gives me money. When I'm teaching a class at a shop or something, there might be gas money or that kind of expenditure, but there's no real. Someone has gifted me something, gifted me materials or something like that. It's never been a money-making thing for me, and that's another thing that helps for an investigation team, that helps with legitimacy. Yeah. Are they attempting to make money from this? I'm not saying money's bad. We're not getting into that conversation. No. That's what I mean. I just mean it complicates matters so badly that for the most part, even I would see it as someone caring more about money than the situation at hand. I really prefer to just come my time, my dime, and focus all of my attention on what's going on with the people who have asked for help. Focus on them and their issue.
Yeah, that's why, I've been in a couple different paranormal teams, and they wanted to film it, and let's see if we can turn it a show. And I think about it, I'm like, I don't want to do it. I just don't. I want to focus on the investigation. That's not why I do this.
Right.
So this is what I came up with. I was like, I'll do this. We'll talk and we'll talk to people, but I'm not doing it on investigation. I need to focus on what I'm doing there, with the people, because I do a lot of residential. I don't do big famous locations. We are doing plug here, going to the Bel Air house, me and Bill next weekend.
Right.
But otherwise, we don't do famous locations or anything.
Right. Now, if I can remember where that is, it's in Ohio, right?
Correct. Yeah.
Yeah. So if I can remember where that is and scrape it up, maybe I'll be there. I don't know for sure, but still, it would be nice to go.
Tickets sold out. There was only 15 tickets, and they sold out the first day they went on
sale. Wow. Well, it'll be great to watch when it comes out.
Yeah, I think I'm not filming anything really. I mean, Bill's gonna have his cameras rolling. I'll have my little camera, but I think Steve Huff might be filming some of it for later on for his documentary. Maybe.
That'd be good.
That would be cool. It'd be cool to be like, hey, like me in the background photobombing, but yeah, it's gonna be
nice.
Cool. Doing the research that you're doing and all that. What are when it comes to the ITC part, what have you been kind of using? Are you using any kind of spirit boxes at all anymore, or?
Well, I do. I still have, because I don't have the money for the pedals, and I still don't know how Steve makes his latest stuff. I still don't. I see the pedals, but I don't really know what they're hooked into and how. But I still have my um, I still have my box. I still have my portal. So I still have that. I also have. I'm also using. I intentionally bought a Windows device. So back last year, I think actually 2 years ago, I think, just so I could use 3 years, just so I could actually use SCD1, SCD2. So I have those. I also have the portal, which I have on my phone because I don't. My larger Android device won't, for some reason, won't run through my portal. But so I also have my portal device, which I've already brought up on here to use for later.
You can get it to work. You can get it to work on your computer. That Windows computer is a program called BlueStacks.
Or TeamViewer.
Or TeamViewer. Yeah, any of those you can actually use your Android stuff on there.
My operating system on my big computer here is Linux. So
I'm talking about the one you got as the Windows.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's called
I
BlueStacks.
just use TeamViewer, and I just jump into my computer at home.
Yeah, I use BlueStacks.
You guys can send me that information so I can figure that one out.
Yeah, definitely will. It's useful.
So that I can use it on my Android, you mean?
Yeah, it basically emulates your Android device on your computer, so you can use all the apps from the Google Play Store.
Oh, well, okay. Because I intentionally a while back got the got the small Windows device so that I could use the
it depends on your device. I'd have to know what your device might not be able to handle BlueStacks or not, but it probably should.
It's a Windows 10 device. It's a small little device.
Yeah,
it's Windows 10. So
I have an old Windows 8 tablet that wouldn't work with BlueStacks, so I don't know. It might handle it. I don't know. But that's tips and advice for people watching that are into spirit boxes and ITC and apps. Go check out BlueStacks or TeamViewer.
I also still have PSP7, but for whatever reason, again, for no reason at all, the batteries are drained on this thing. So
do you take them out in between?
I do. I actually reverse them in between so that they don't light up, but maybe they still drain. So
fresh battery every time you go out, and if it drains, you know it's not you; it's the spirits.
Right. So I still have these devices that I use. I don't have a lot of boxes. I actually bought a small in an antique shop down below my apartment and one step over, but underneath my apartment there's an antique shop. And I bought a small radio box, an old antique radio box. I bought that just in case I wanted to put together a radio box. So I bought a face for it.
I've thought about that. I was a couple years ago at an antique store, and I was looking at their antique radio boxes, but man, they wanted a lot of money for those. And I'm like, I wouldn't want to tear it apart. Bill, I'd give it to Bill to do, because with the work, Bill, you did on those boxes you made were incredible. I'd be afraid. I know I'd butcher it, and I'd ruin the whole poor antique radio. I wouldn't want to do that. They're so beautiful.
You did a great job on those boxes.
Yeah. They looked awesome, and they sounded awesome. Yeah, I'd be like, Bill, I'm mailing you something. Fix me up if I bought one.
The problem is now I don't have the tools I used to have.
Aw, they were so beautiful, those boxes you made. But yeah, tonight, cool, Glennie. I'm so glad that you're, joining us tonight, because we are going to, after second commercial break, do the spirit boxes, and it sounds like they might be active since we're getting the clicking from you and stuff.
Right, and again, I'm not touching anything on this side, so I don't know where the click. I can't even hear it, so I don't know where it's coming. What would be coming from?
I don't know. It's weird. It's just like a pop and a click. It sounds like somebody sitting in the chat room. It sounds like somebody clicking a pen.
Last time, it's so weird. We have to go back, because I guarantee.
In the original.
Thinking maybe there was a cut. Yeah. The first time, the other time he was on.
Right.
So I wondered if there was a cut in something, but now I don't know.
I don't remember.
I mean, the fan on my computer's under the table, but the fan on that. The fan on that's making noise, but that's it.
I didn't hear it till you came on.
Right, my TV's all the way down. Right, and my TV's all the way down. So when you said I can hear you making noise, I'm thinking, what can you hear me making noise with?
Only thing, when I go to commercial break, mute yourself and then unplug your. It's a USB, I'm guessing.
Right.
Unplug it and replug it back in.
If I do that, it could cause a problem with me. No, I'm sorry. This is not USB. The only thing USB are the lights on it. But it's actually not USB. If I unplug it, plug it back in, it could cause me a problem with coming back on. Okay, it could knock me out. So
All right. Then no.
Yeah.
Shouldn't if it's an audio jack. It shouldn't. If it did, you would just plug it back in and go to your settings and select the right sound card that you're playing it on.
I could try that, but I'm hoping that it doesn't knock me out in the process.
It shouldn't if it's just an audio. USB could, but the audio jack, I don't think it will. We'll get you back on one way or the other. We'll figure it out.
So I'll try that at break.
Yeah. Also, where can before we go to break, so we don't forget, where can people find you on the web?
You can. I have a WordPress that's out, and you can find me if you type into YouTube Messenger Guardians Vermont. You'll find my YouTube channel because it's based off my Gmail channel, off my Gmail address, messengerguardiansvermont@gmail.com. You type in Messenger Guardians Paranormal, it will come up in YouTube. I also have a WordPress that has a very weird address to it, which is also Messenger Guardians Paranormal.com, but it's .com and then .com. It's really strange how WordPress did that, and I think they do it to force you to actually buy from them, and it's really weird. But I do have a WordPress that I'm using now as well. So you can also find us in Facebook, Messenger Guardians Paranormal in Facebook, under Glennie Sewell. You can go into my Facebook and friend it there. You can also find our channel.
So I did butcher your last name. I should have asked Sewell.
It's Sewell, yeah.
I told you, sorry, Glennie. I mean, you know me. It's an honor. I butchered your name like I butchered everybody else's name that's ever been on this show, pretty much, unless your last name's Smith.
I actually allow for a couple of pronunciations, and so it wasn't enough for it to matter. So
I think like Zool. It's like Zool. Sewell.
No, it's just Sewell, no Z. So yeah.
Be cooler if it was Zool, man. Be cooler. All right, let's get to our second and last commercial break, and then we'll bust out the spirit boxes, let people call in, see if the spirits want to talk to you, or if you got a question for Glennie, go ahead and ask. So when we come back, of course, remember, we're playing music on Late Night in the Midlands Radio Network. You will not hear it on Facebook, so we'll be quiet for a minute, but we are still here. We will be back. You can also, like I said, listen on Late Night in the Midlands Radio Network. All right, guys, when we come back, we're going to see if the spirits want to talk to us, and maybe talk to you if you call in. All right, guys, we'll be right back. Tonight on Paranormal Soup, we have our friend Glennie Sewell from Vermont. He's a paranormal investigator. We're going to do some live ITC. We think the spirits have been busy. They've been getting clicking and knocking sounds on Glennie's end. We're trying to figure out. He's hopefully going to be all right with his audio coming back here in a second. Let's hope.
My audio came back.
All right. Let's see. We'll see if we get the clicking. I don't know. I think I just heard a little clicking. We'll see. And if it's the spirits trying to talk, that's what we're trying to do tonight, guys. So this is how it works. We're going to do live ITC sessions, and you can call into the show. We'll give you about 5 minutes at the very most. We'll see what we get. A lot of times we don't hear it until playback. That's 99% of the time. But you call in. There's a couple ways to do that. The Soup live chat, 800 live chat, is down tonight. We can't get the audio's been messed up on that, so don't call on that. So there's two ways you can call in. There is the phone line that is 219-230-4444, or you can call in on our Skype line, which is OOJBland00. You can call in on that Skype line, or you can call in on the phone line 219-230-4444, Skype ID OOJBland00. Call in on either one of those ways. We'll see if the spirits want to talk to you. But let's go ahead and get the spirit sessions rolling.
Okay, so we're going to go ahead and use Huff Paranormal. We're going to use SCD2. So can you all hear me well?
I hear you. Yeah, we're getting the clicking. It's there, but if it's the spirits trying to communicate, then we'll take it. And we already got somebody calling in.
I'm sorry.
We definitely hear it.
Right.
Who do we got on the phone line? We got Laura Lee. How you doing tonight, Laura Lee?
Fine, thanks. How are you?
Doing good. It's only audio only, so you don't have to have your video on. I can see you, but the audience can't, just so you know.
Okay, then. Oh,
You're
okay,
fine,
I'll
though.
try and turn that off. I don't know.
You're
Okay, okay.
You're fine now. It doesn't matter. Just so you know, they can't see you. The Soup Live chat, the video chat line is down. We're trying to get that fixed. Hopefully by the next ITC Collect show or the next show, we'll be able to get it fixed. But, yeah, it can be complicated sometimes. You get your settings messed up, and then everything goes out of whack. So we'll get it figured out. But we do have the phone lines. We got Laura Lee on. You want to see if the spirits want to talk to you, or you got a question for Glennie?
No, I'd love to hear what the spirits have to say. We've been having some crazy stuff happening this weekend.
Like what?
My hubby woke me up and asked me, because as you well know, I do angel card readings. And he woke up at 3 during last night and said, "Are you doing something with your angel cards? Because stuff was flying around the bedroom." It woke him up.
Like, stuff was, like, literally flying around?
He said, well, a couple of my medication bottles were right by the bedside, and they went flying against the wall and smacked right into the wall, and then a glass went and broke. That's what woke him up. Mm-hmm.
All right. Well, we got probably two active areas. We got Laura Lee's house, where she's calling in,
Yes.
and then we got Glennie, who's got weird stuff going on in his end. So let's let the magic roll and see if the spirits talk. Go ahead, Glennie. You ready to roll?
Hey, got it going. Let's turn her up and see if we can get something. Which again, we won't hear most of this until we roll back.
I do want to say hello to you, Glennie. You're a fantastic guest. I'm so glad you're back.
Thank you. I appreciate it. So I'm glad you're listening. And let me know if y'all can hear this. I'm go ahead and turning them up. I've got SCD2 on now. So we'll ask the spirits for those who are involved directly with your home if they know what's going on. So,
okay. All
right. And suddenly it just decided it didn't want to respond the moment I asked questions.
Yeah.
Oh.
You can make the list.
You can make the list. I heard that.
Remember that? I'm driving her.
All right, Laura Lee, try talking to him.
Hi, I'm wondering if anybody from the spirit world has anything to say. I'd love a message or what's going on at my house while you're throwing things around.
What? Going particularly if it's Mr. Smith, they're from the police department.
This is definitely the place to
You're
talk.
going to see me for now.
It is.
They just said that.
I missed that. Sorry, I was plugging in my headphones.
Keep talking to him, Laura Lee.
These cameras
Okay, so
just got a no. You know, I mean, Rip.
I missed your message. Could you repeat it, please?
I think it's in the.
Do you want to know? I'll tell you.
Says, oh, representing a lot of them. I think it's my children.
Children.
Yeah.
Stand out like they were different. Hitting each other.
But now,
They really wanted to bite.
Better than the day before.
Nope.
Spirits, do you have any messages for Laura Lee?
I was trying not to talk over you, Jason. Sorry.
You're fine if you do. It's fine.
Okay, just at a bit of a delay. Do you have
Yeah,
any messages for me? Why you've been throwing stuff around and breaking stuff? You guys have been quiet here and well behaved lately.
My head is Ken.
You want me to tell you?
People want to see me. Talk about it anymore.
I feel like there's something there. I'm not sure.
Yeah, they are responding a great deal to what you're saying.
Definitely want to hear that on playback.
Is there a reason why you were throwing stuff around the bedroom? You're angry about something?
Statement. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and use. That was actually.
I was say.
I will.
That was
We are the only.
Yeah.
That was
All the energy of what you look like.
He's asking what she looks like. That was me, but from my phone, and it was
Yeah.
from another recording. I don't know how that happened.
Why do you want to know what I look like? Not you, Glennie. I know whatever that said.
No. I know, but that's what he said. He goes,
So I was a little bit.
yeah, they can't see you, so they're like, what do you look like?
I look like a woman. I'm a woman.
But you don't know in the internet spirit world. Oh, see, spirit. As I say, you don't know in the internet spirit world.
Hmm. You got any further messages?
You're very good. The material, the way they were. Gee, about if I could.
It's pretty distorted. I have
Said
to
something about
listen
you
on
being pretty
playback.
good or something. I don't know.
Yeah, you're
Pretty
pretty
good.
I
Oh,
have
that's good to hear.
Yeah, pretty good did come across. I have the reverb turned on because it seems to work better with reverb turned on.
When you're talking pretty good, what are you talking about? My connection to spirit or something else?
Into a new world.
Something about a new world. I heard it say spirit before. Sorry. I heard it say spirit before. Before
Yeah.
it said good.
You know I work with angels and I do that kind of work. Is that what you were talking about?
I don't. And just kept.
Hmm. Anything else?
Merchandise was stolen from stores in the Los Angeles. All right. They're going to be making what?
Midnight, we set our. So at midnight.
At midnight. I've heard that twice now.
Yeah, you did.
Well, it's past midnight here where I am.
At midnight's when the show ends.
On your time, right, Jason? Yeah.
Women would pretend to be looking. Two suspects would engage. Keeping her away from them.
All right, Laura Lee. That was 5 minutes. I got to let you go in case anybody else
No,
wants
no
to call in.
worries.
Well, thank you for
You know what?
calling.
Thanks so much.
Frank and I went down
Thank
to
you so much. You too. Talk to you later.
Wait,
Bye-bye. Thanks, Glennie.
No problem, Marley. Thank you.
Tthank you.
Don't forget, people, there's two ways you can call in. There's the Skype ID OOJBLANDOO, or you can call in at 219-230-4444. 219-230-4444. Just call in and see if the spirits want to talk to you. We're going to stick with Glennie for a little bit here and see what else we get from his end, and then maybe Bill here in a little bit. Maybe we'll get Bill with his beautiful toys. See what we get on Bill's end. Should do it on mine. I had some paranormal stuff I talked about last night. We did a live test, of all this water in my basement. I'll tell it again a little bit, but I was patching a cement hole here, and I put a little metal magazine holder up against a wooden board to hold it in place for it to dry. Left the room for like half a minute. Came back, and that little metal thing was pushed back like 2 feet. I don't know how it moved, yeah. And I always know, like, when weird stuff like this happens in my house, it's always when there's, like, plumbing or water issues or whatever. And I swear it's the guy who built the house, Bob. And we've gotten Bob on the spirit boxes before, so I don't know.
I'm going to turn Portal on.
Okay.
I turned off SCD2 for the moment, and I'm going to turn on Portal. Or some of the standard sounds that comes out of it all the time. For whoever else calls in, I think we'll have something going on. But if there is anyone else that's with us right now, please, you have the opportunity to speak, to tell your story, to ask your question with great respect and nothing but love from us.
Oh, here, turn it down 1 second, Glennie.
Yep, I'm turning it down.
We got another caller online. Who do we got on the line?
Hey, Jason, it's Christina.
Hey, Christina, how you doing?
Oh, I'm doing great tonight. How are you?
Doing all right. Glad to be back. All right, you want to see?
Oh, yeah, we're glad you're back.
Yeah, it was torturous being down in this basement, looking at my studio all empty because I had to take everything out of here. And it's nice to be back, especially getting to do ITC with friends here. You want to talk to the spirits tonight, I assume?
Oh, I'd love to talk to the spirits. I send them much love, and I thank them all so much because they're all around us. They send us signals daily. I believe it. I have a radio that keeps going off every time that I have family visit.
Oh, yeah? Like
Or
just a regular house
certain
radio that
friend.
just starts turning on?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, wow. You think you're getting, like, voices through it?
Yes, I have an area that I walk through, and messages come through as I'm walking. I can hear spirit, like, pop through with messages. I've been kind of, like, talking with other people with this kind of thing, because it's like, does this kind of happen? And it does.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. You hear
It's
stories
happened
about
in
it
my
all the time.
car, even.
Oh, yeah. Weird stuff. Like I said, what happened in my basement. I had something in my basement just recently. I swear spirits are always trying to like, get your attention somehow. A lot of people are probably too busy on their phones to notice.
Yeah.
All right. So you...
So I'm just going to... I'm sharing.
Okay. Well, we got Glennie still doing the ITC on his end, so you're going to be getting the spirits coming from Glennie's end over in Vermont.
Awesome. Hi, Glennie.
Okay.
My name is
Hi.
Christina. I'm from Michigan.
Hey.
I'm
Hey,
5'5",
Christina.
and I have awesome curly hair that's all different colors. And
Sounds
I'm
like you're trying to get a date with
very
a
into
ghost.
nature.
Hey, Christina, my one
Hi.
long video that I do have on my channel is me doing the North Michigan, what used to be the Northern Michigan Insane Asylum in Traverse City. That's my 34-minute video on my YouTube channel. So you can check that out. I did it about 3 years ago.
I will have to check that out. I used to work at the prison in Jackson, so we could probably have some really good stories to talk about.
No kidding.
All right.
All right. Let's
Okay,
fire up
so
that
here we
spirit
go.
box. Yep.
All right. Here we are. If anyone wants to speak, Christina has some questions that she would love answers to.
All right. Go ahead and talk to spirits, Christina.
How many spirits are around me?
I think I just heard her voice whispered.
Really? Whose
When
voice?
A voice on the portal just said,
You might have.
Send
She
you
said
so
a
much
lot.
love.
I'm also recording just in case I need the
I
audio.
feel you. Is that family that surrounds me?
Something about
Yeah.
answers.
Yeah.
Hey, Glennie, can you turn it down at times, like when she tries to ask a question? See if we can, like, so we can hear her. Go ahead and talk to him, and then he'll turn it back up once you stop. Let's try
I'm
that.
still here.
Yeah, go ahead and ask another
I can
question.
try to.
Yeah.
Okay. Is there a old farmer man that is following me around my property?
Let's turn her up.
Is there a Mrs. Gould that follows me?
"Ghost."
Mrs. Gould?
Ghoul?
Mrs. Gould.
Mrs.
Mrs. Gould.
Is there a Mrs. You said Gould?
Yes.
And this is Gould that follows?
Yes. Is she around me?
Yes.
Thank you for that confirmation. I feel uncensored.
We're catching a male spirit talking to you as well.
Does his
Just
name
like-
begin with the letter R?
There's like 2 or 3.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you, Spirit. Wow.
We'll certainly listen back on it too to see if we can catch everything.
Oh, I heard something there that just come through. I love you.
You feel like you heard something?
Yeah.
Wait, turn it down a second, Glennie.
Okay.
What did you think you heard?
It's going to be okay.
It's going to be okay.
That's what I thought I heard. It was going to be okay.
All right, you can turn it back up.
Okay. All right.
Sorry, I'm just really shaken.
It's all right.
No, that's okay.
It's all
right.
love. I'm very, very happy.
Love.
Yes.
Angel.
Yep.
Love, love.
There it is again.
I just
There
heard
it is again.
Angel also.
I know.
And if you're hearing it, remember, Christine, this is all in reverse. So if we're hearing forward words, and I think you're getting the spirits.
Yes.
I'm also getting a crown, a feeling at the crown of my head as well. So
I heard
Yeah.
crown after you said that.
Oh, thank you,
I
Spirit.
just said honey.
I love
Oh,
you. I thank you every day.
We talk.
yeah.
Yes, we can talk. It's just, you can't all bombard me at once.
Yeah, spirits, take your turn.
Turn one at a time. You all can speak. Nothing but love for you.
They said, go ahead, want me to step up?
Please step up. I asked that my guide, Aurora, help you with this.
Thank you. Hello.
Wow, I'm hearing things I haven't heard before on through here.
Oh. I remember you.
I heard Christina.
Yeah.
Hello. I'm still here. I'm on both sides. Oh, wow.
You have any last messages for Christina, spirits?
Anything else?
This is Spirit.
Spirit.
Yeah.
My sister was just here. Thank you. That's the confirmation for me.
I'm glad they can do it.
That was crazy. Thank you so much, guys.
You're totally welcome. Thank you, Spirit. We really appreciate that. Thank you.
Thank you for
Thank
calling
you,
in,
Spirit.
Christina.
Thank you,
Thank you
Christina.
so much. Thank you, Spirit Guide Aurora. All right, I'm going to get off of here so somebody else can call in.
Well, thank you for calling in, Christina. You have a wonderful
Certainly.
night, and we'll have
Oh, thank you.
we get anything, we'll put an edit of it up on the site in a couple weeks.
All right.
Sure.
All right.
All right,
All right,
Christina.
sounds awesome. Thank you. Good night.
Good night.
Good night, Christina.
I may have heard your name a couple times too, Glennie. I think I heard Glennie and then Glenn at one point.
Right. I'm not surprised. They've started saying my name quite a while back, and I'm really not surprised. I'm going to be listening back on that too, because I was doing an audio file on my other device as well. So.
I heard some definite stuff in there I want to definitely listen back to. That
Oh yes.
sounded like some replies to what she was, it was hard to hear her questions at first. So if we probably do one more with you, and then we're going to go over to Bill.
That sounds good. You know what was interesting is that when I said I felt something at the crown of my head, then Jamie says I heard the word crown.
I heard it. I don't know if she heard it or not. I heard
and
it.
it's not an app. You said it. That's right. And it's not an app that takes my words, and puts them back through. So it's just the portal app that I'm using, and it actually seems to work a lot better. So I think on the next person, I'll go ahead and use that still.
Okay.
That one was reverse speech, so that's really cool. You get
say-
stuff coming through it.
We're going to do one more session. If you want to get in on a session with Glennie, call in now at 219-230-4444, or you can call in on Skype ID, OOJBLANDOO. That's the Skype ID. Type that in and just send me a Skype call on there, and we'll bring you on to see if the spirits want to talk to you. You can go ahead and start rolling it. We'll see if anybody calls in.
Okay, I'm going to go ahead and start rolling both recorders. And I'm also screen recording this. I'm turning up. All right, so if there's any spirits who still want to talk, we have someone who might be coming on that needs
We do.
help.
Who do we have on the
Hello?
line? Yeah, turn it on. Who do we got on the line?
It's Dawn Emler.
I missed that. Say that one more time.
Dawn Emler.
Oh, hi, Don. How you doing tonight?
I'm good. How are you?
Thank you for
Don.
calling. Is your first time calling into the show?
Yes, it is.
Welcome.
I just want to say hello to you and to Glenn, the guest.
Well, thank
Hey,
you
Don.
for calling in. We're
Okay,
still.
I'm from Brooklyn, New York, and I had experiences growing up a lot, and I just want to know if that same spirit that I've seen when I was 5 to about 12 years old, and then had negative experiences after that with like remote controls and stuff flying around the house, if that same spirit is still around me today.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Okay.
Let's see.
All right. Let's see. So we'll go ahead and turn it up, and I'll ask Aurora for her assistance, and see whether or not the spirit that's been hanging around. You said Don, right?
Yes.
That's been hanging around Don. Is the spirit still around, or has the spirit crossed, or who is this? Is it her guide, maybe?
Well, the spirit that I see when I was younger, from age 4 to 12, was my great grandmother. But then people are telling me it wasn't really her; it was a negative spirit, because I had negative experiences after that.
I have a theory on that. I'll share right before you leave on the call.
I can ask one thing. If you've never experienced anything negative between the ages of 4 and 12 with this spirit, then that might have been. It might not have been negative. Just people having a negative reaction. But again, if Jason has an idea too, I'd love to hear it as well.
I will.
Okay, I appreciate
go.
that.
Okay, so let's go ahead and see if we can get some thoughts on this. We're done.
Great.
Let's see
Awesome. Thanks.
So weird. Someone said so weird.
Go ahead.
Yeah.
Go ahead and ask a question, Glennie. I'll turn it down for a second so you can ask a question again. And like one thing to say, if you think it's your grandmother, maybe don't say her name, but try to get her to call, validate with something she would know, or say her name or anything along those lines that you would know it's your grandma.
Okay. Well, really, it's my great grandmother, but when I was younger, I was very afraid of her. When she passed away, before she passed away, she had Alzheimer's, and she kept coming to our home and thinking she was home, and then she passed. And then from the age of 4, I want to know if you were the one who kept scaring me in the middle of the night from the age of 4 to 12, and that was really you.
Yeah, I heard yes, her grandma, or something like that.
Or her great grandmother. Can you let us know what your name is?
Yeah, I heard that too.
I heard Rose. I don't know, something Rose and something.
Mm-hmm.
Great grandma?
Maybe,
We Are Dead. I heard that. That's a classic.
Yes.
yeah.
I know there's others who want to speak. Let's let Don's message come through.
Yeah.
specific question you wanted to ask that might help this out as well?
I'd like to know if after I stopped seeing my great grandmother, and when negative stuff started happening and flying around the house and having night terrors, if that was her or something more negative.
I think I heard an answer on that one. It's a whisper.
I think I heard a spirit. I'm not sure.
It was a woman.
Were you the one who was throwing the remote control around the house?
I heard that. It sounded like an old woman responding.
Yeah. Whoever you are you still around me? My family?
Did I just hear Donna?
Well, Donna, thank you for calling in. For real quick, for validation, what was your grandmother's name? Or great-grandmother?
Pauline.
Pauline? Okay. So, well, maybe
Yeah.
sometimes we
Well,
find
I think
these
it was
names come
Pauline
through.
Rose McCabe.
Did you say Rose?
I heard Rose 3 times, I
Yeah,
swear.
I kept on hearing Rose. I said it earlier. Did you say her middle name was Rose?
Yeah.
See, I was hearing Rose. I said it earlier. I heard Rose more than a number of times.
And I thought maybe it was Rose and Chet, and I thought, well, maybe she had rose perfume or something.
Oh, well, that's really interesting.
We'll have to listen to that. Maybe there was a Pauline in there, too, we didn't hear. I don't know.
Yeah.
Might have heard that. Might have heard Rose probably.
Yeah, I'm hoping it's her because I've been told it wasn't her. It was more of like an evil spirit trying to
Well,
let
me give you my
it's like,
take on that. Let me give you real quick, Donna. My take on that is a number of cases. I've read about. This is just from reading and being interested in different people's paranormal stories. Is that I've seen a lot of occurrences where people have a relationship or they have things happen with a family member who's moved on that's come to them and communicated with them after death, and then that family member seems to move on and go away. But after they do, then these negative things start to happen. You'll see a lot of these kind of stories on the paranormal shows, people telling their paranormal stories. You'll see this, just look for this kind of similarity between people's stories about having an experience with somebody, a family member who's passed on, and then after that family member seems to go away, a negative comes in. My theory is, my theory on that is that if a spirit's entering your home, even if it's your family member, a good one, that's a doorway. And they communicated with you, but once they leave, maybe nothing ever closed that door, and something else gets through. It's a theory.
Yeah, and then when you're a teenager and then you're playing around like Ouija boards or something else, that's more of a door that can open for negative.
That will make it much worse. If you're not sure how to use one of those or how to close them off and how to open them, because it's very, very specific, and most don't. They're no more bad or good than any kind of recording device that we have. It's another tool, but if people don't know how to use them, and of course our society has gone overboard with Ouija boards and and Hollywood movies have made them out to be so evil. But if people don't know what they're doing with them, they can cause problems, like any device.
Oh, of course, I agree 100%.
Yeah.
When you're young and silly, and then things start happening after the fact, then you have to do your research and wake up a bit.
Oh yeah. Well, thank you so much for calling in, Don. And you have a great
thank
night.
you guys so much. Thank you for calling up. Thank you,
Don.
Jason. I really appreciate you listening. Have a good night.
Bye, Don.
You too.
Good night.
All All right. So we got some cool stuff on your end there, Glennie. But I'm gonna let Bill open up his spirit box here and run that a little bit, and I might run a little bit of something towards the end on my if we got time.
Well, it sounds excellent because I just turned the recording off and I'm gonna shut my box off.
Okay.
So, and I'm thinking of turning on my camera if it can, and see if I can catch anything in the room on the video aspect while Bill is running his.
While Bill's running his, you might want to mute yourself when you're not talking because of the clicking.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, I just don't understand why that clicking's occurring.
I don't know.
I did unplug and plug it all back in. So
yeah, I thought maybe that might help, but I don't know.
Oops.
Oh, your camera just went off. Yeah.
That was me. Sorry.
Okay. All right, guys. Now, if you call in, we're going to be doing it on Bill's end. Bill's got a lot of beautiful ITC toys on his end, and we're going to let him showcase those. I don't know what he's going to be starting off with, but you can call in and see if the spirits want to talk to you. There's two ways tonight to do that. There's one Skype line. It's Skype ID 00JBland00. Or there is the phone line, 219-230-4444. That's 219-230-4444. Call in and see if the spirits want to talk to you. So what are we starting off with tonight, Bill?
I thought I'd give a try to the RED1, the red one.
Red rum. No, that's not it. Red one.
Fairly new Ghost Hunter app. And yeah, give that a shot and see what happens here. Let me turn on the
Look right now. You don't find
it's already talking. Let's see. Uh-oh. What happened?
Then what's that?
Let me know if you can hear this loud enough.
The Equitable
Yeah,
Society.
fine.
Sounds good.
Okay.
Is there anybody in the chat room, spirits, want to talk to? Call them out. Get them to call in and talk to you.
Like scraped it up.
Put it up.
Maybe we can get Bob to talk to Jason.
I thought I heard his Bob around right after you said that.
Really? Is Bob around?
Let's celebrate. Things and leave it here open.
Why not?
Do any spirits have any messages for any of us tonight, or anyone watching and listening?
First Isle by Nelson. Dick Benedict.
Eggs Benedict? Is that a breakfast order?
Him next time. I'm looking.
We will bring you another great story.
Do you know why they the real?
Why, sir?
Hate to admit it. Yeah, I really do. But only one.
Begun movement to move up.
But they won't.
So again, spirits, do you have any messages for anybody in the chat room tonight? Or for anybody in the paranormal panel here, or Paranormal Soup?
From
Dreams.
Did he call us dweebs? That's what I thought. I don't know.
Are there any spirits, any of the spirits here that were speaking to me the other night when I used my Geo box?
I think I heard the word dreams, guys, not dweebs.
I know.
I heard dreams also.
Dreams.
Right.
Now let me show you my.
Do spirits have any messages for Glennie?
Utterly
the hydrogen.
Well, that was interesting.
Zach in the chat room wants to ask the spirits, are we going to go to war with North Korea in the near future? A pressing subject, Zach.
I don't think they can tell the future.
Yeah, I never think they've been good at that.
Always been my theory.
For some of them, it's a rule they can't break. So
You wonder, like, we've talked about this countless times on ITC shows, but if there's like a spirit police force, it's like, hey, you over there talking to the humans, stop.
I
Can't
think
say
so.
that.
Yeah. Can't tell them that.
Spirits, is there some kind of rules on the other side where you're not allowed to say certain things? Are there people stopping you from saying things, or spirits, or angels, or
prime
demons?
directive.
Prime directive.
Said something else on a dream. You had a dream.
I've had a lot of messed up dreams lately, so I don't know.
I figure all of us did, so I wasn't even going to ask. Like, that
Right.
could apply to, like, probably half the
Yeah.
panel.
I have lots of lucid dreams. They're not just dreams. I'm wherever I am in another place.
I've had the lucid dreams, but not that often. Most of the dreams are like, yeah, I'm not going to get into.
I have those, like, 3 or 4 nights a week.
Are the spirits talking about Glennie's dreams?
The law. Is there a law on the other side?
Help us. They said help us something.
How can we help you? Seeing a message?
Number one.
Wow, what the train horn?
It's the reverb.
Oh, okay.
Or at least
Remember, call in the show, guys. 219-230-4444 or Skype ID OOJBLANDOO. If you don't want people to know who you are, don't say your whole name. I forgot to iterate that before I told people to call in. You should just say your first name.
Can any spirits tell us about where me and Jason are going next weekend? The Bel Air house.
right.
Is there anyone that
Is we
that knows anything about the Bel Air house?
And he runs when he runs up.
Ought not become.
Jason? I'm not sure. Oh, you did type it in. All right. Lori was asking what the Skype call is.
Skype ID OOJBLANDOO.
Yeah.
Or by phone. 219-230-4444.
Deanna in chat would like to ask for Matt and tell him that Dee says hi.
Okay. So there's a Matt out there. Dee Dee says hi. Can you say hi back?
He is in 3 areas.
He's in 3 areas.
so when you want.
She did say he just recently passed last month.
I don't know what that would mean.
Is he out learning right now? Does he come back and forth and see Deanna and the family? Does Matt come back to see Deanna, to see Dee Dee?
No.
Frank Wishy-Washy. That's what I heard.
Me too. I don't know what that was.
All right, we should have a caller coming on here in a second. Who do we got on the line?
Lori.
Hey, Lori, how you doing tonight?
Hey, Lori.
Hi, Jason.
Hi. So you can get the
I
spirits to
heard them
talk to
say
you?
Skype.
I heard them say Skype.
Really?
Yes, they did. They said Skype.
I missed that. They're recognizing the call-ins. They want to talk to you. So go ahead and talk to the spirits and see
Lori,
if you
stay
can
out
get them.
here.
Talk to
Doing
them.
good.
Well,
Yeah.
Does anyone have any messages for Lori?
Yep.
I think Lori's a bit delayed.
How do I change that?
I don't know. It could just be an internet thing.
Listen, darling. Oh, it's all right.
and no.
So,
200
Ask him
Yeah, I
a
am
question,
delayed.
Lori.
so who came to me about a couple days ago, wanted me to look at some songs?
And it goes dead silent.
Yeah.
Oh, weird. Who was it that came to Lori and wanted her to look at some songs?
Did anybody come to Lori to look at some songs?
Yes, he did, but I want to hear the name.
If Lori's guide can help bring this through, we'd like to ask that.
Wow, it's dead quiet.
I hope the app
But
didn't
um,
on me or something.
Yeah.
Looking at it. No, I have an internet connection still. It should be on.
it's gonna blast you.
No
Yeah, could we reset it? Because it can't be quiet all of a sudden.
Yeah.
error. Let me try it. Let me-
It will, then it'll just blast when you go to touch the knob. Blah.
Do you like to touch the knob?
I know, I'm brain.
Jason.
Sorry.
There it goes. Now it's coming back through. That guy.
Here we go.
Hello?
Somebody said it sounded like Abraham Lincoln the last place.
Is there anyone who could answer Lori's question?
Used to kill Frank Stillwell.
I heard a weird whisper right there.
Mm-hmm.
It was in my left ear, like.
Yeah, I heard it. I heard it too.
Really?
Yeah, I saw somebody in my mind. A
They're
relative.
like,
There it is again. There it is again.
Can the relative that Lori's seen in her mind come say their name for validation?
Change for permission to
Adjusted the reverb a little, try to make it a little clearer sounding.
Sounded like she said Facebook messages. Did anyone else hear that?
Okay, I thought I heard messages.
Yeah, I heard. I thought I
got
heard Facebook messages.
Up to the Rockies.
and I'll never.
I can't say that I'm sorry, Johnny. But who? Who did this? Call the police. Somebody call the police.
1940s radio going on now.
Never called the show before, area code 818.
Sounds like a jokester.
47.
etc. That this kind of mental stableness, and I think there is the potential for some.
Outside the country, no problem.
And I hear our bell.
Yeah.
A whole bunch of stuff all of a sudden.
It's like,
Like,
It sounded like you had two things going for a second.
sounded like a couple of different things there going on there. I don't know what.
Civilization.
It's kind of weird.
Guess they don't want to come through.
yeah, we'll see. We'll see what happens on some
We
playback.
don't know. Yeah, they might have come through playback. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, thank you for calling in, Lori.
Welcome.
And you have a great night. We'll see if we can
Bye.
fit in another phone call. I'm going to try to do
Bye.
a session, I think, see if we can get Bob to come through.
Is Bob willing to
Drink of his yesterday.
The sense of the heart.
come through and talk to Jason?
Agent Caleb.
Let me try. I got HoloVox. Let me see if I can get that.
Okay. Let me turn mine off then. Problem.
See if it comes through, if it's working. It's been a while since I've done this. Well, it's being quiet too. A little rumbling. That's just Windows. Okay, the Spirit's talking. We're using the HoloVox app from GhostHunterApps.com. Last chance for people to call in. You probably can fit maybe 1-2 calls in. Phone number is 219-230-4444, or you can call in at 00JBland00 Skype ID. Spirits are being quiet on this. Real quiet. Okay, being freaky. So, is Bob available? Can he tell me if he moved that little metal thing down in my basement? Little magazine holder? Did it say he's down there? Something like that? A really deep voice?
That's what it sounded like.
Who's down here? You talking about Bob?
That's pretty. Jason, he said your name.
Did it? I missed that. Prove it. I heard that.
We should be able to get it on back recording, but I heard that thing say your name.
Again, this is from GhostHunterApps.com, Anthony Sanchez. This is the HoloVox. Oh, my mom thought she's watching right now. She thought it said Jason.
Yeah, that's what I heard. I'm certain of it.
I'm here. What do you got to tell me, spirits? Sound like you're on volume.
You probably have. You'll probably have to speed it up when you listen back on it.
Or slow it down. Chipmunk voice comes through. Oh, speed it up, slow it down, speed it up. No. Again, spirits, do you have any answers about what moved the little metal magazine rack I had down here in the basement? What was messing with me?
Why don't you help me? He just said.
Okay, I thought I might have heard something like that too.
Why don't you talk to me?
For that.
Something like
Maybe
that, yeah.
Something like that. I'm not sure. I'll play back. If it's not, why don't you talk to me? Well, I was talking to
him anymore.
Well, if I was talking to Bob down here, going, why the hell did you put nails in my cinder block?
Somebody wants you. Oh, you're getting lots of answers. Someone is bad because you didn't help them. I don't think that's what really happened, but yeah, they think you didn't help them.
How can I help you? How can I help you?
Do more spirit box sessions.
No.
He's very chatty.
Last chance for you can take one more caller. You got to do it now. It'd be J Bland Skype ID or phone line 219-230-4444. Is Bob here right now? What was if it is Bob? Here's a validation question. What was his hobby down in this basement? Can you tell me what Bob's hobby was?
Definitely hearing this.
I'm going to try something different. Hold on. We got 5 minutes left. Close this one out. Maybe. Let's see. Let's try. See if I can get the GB2 because we did the red one tile box. I'm gonna do. Why it's all weird sounding. All right, spirits, we got a little bit of time left. Can you tell me what was down here to move that magazine rack? Was that you, Bob? If that's you, confirm it by telling me what was your hobby down here in this basement? One last time, Bob. Can you tell me, if it's you, tell me what your hobby was down here? It's being quiet, just that resonance. Sounds like Buddhist monks in the background.
I thought I heard somebody talking through the resonance.
Maybe we'll get an EVP.
Maybe.
Sounds like they're coming via truck.
I'm not getting anything through it otherwise. We'll switch. Try one last time. We're going to try real quick. We're going to try the red one. See if we get anything through that. I know. This musical goes in chairs. Oh, nope. Can't do that one. Never mind. Hold on. How about... Ooh. Let's see if I can get the Banshee to work really quick. We'll see. That might take too long. I don't know. That might take too long. We only got 2 minutes. Darn it. We'll see. We'll see if we got anything back on the playback. But it was fun. We only got a couple minutes left. I don't know if I can get this app to work in time.
Well, it was certainly fun.
We'll have to see you on playback, guys. You go check out on Midwest Paranormal Presents Paranormal Soup Facebook page. We'll, if we get anything, we post an edited video of it up there. There's also the YouTube channel, Paranormal Soup, or Jason Bland.
Banshee Box application.
Banshee. Okay, hold on. Let's see if we get one last message.
Oh, it's there.
All right, spirits, we got like 1 minute. Any last messages for the show in this last minute? Then I hit the wrong button. Last question. Can you tell us what was Bob's hobby down in this basement?
Hello? Oh, hello? Or shall we cut off?
Didn't hear the response. I don't think so. I don't know. We'll hear on. See if it's on. Can you say goodbye, spirits? Can you say goodbye, spirits? Well, I will say goodbye.
Oh, I thought I heard a goodbye in there right at the end.
Oh, of course.
Let's give it a sweet trick.
All right. Good night, spirits.
Oh, I heard some more a-hole.
Yeah.
They've used that term for me before. It's an endearing term.
I see. Okay.
Well, thank you so much, Glennie, for joining us tonight and letting us do the second half, do an ITC. We'll have another. I'm scheduled all the way in July with guests, but I left end of the month dates for some ITC shows. So we will have more. We went like 3 months without one, but we will definitely have more ITC shows where you can call in and see if the spirits want to talk to you. Thank you again, Glennie, for coming on the show. Thank you, Jamie. Thank you, Bill, for being on with us tonight. Next week, let me go ahead and get the end music rolling here. Next week, I do think I have a guest scheduled. I should. Is Brian Jalbert from Haunted Tours TV show. We're going to talk about his TV show where they push the outer limits of the paranormal. I mean, they really push the limits of what you want to do. Not recommended. Don't try it at home kind of paranormal stuff. Definitely don't try it at home. So we'll be talking about that next Sunday. Same bad time, same bad channel, 10 p.m. to midnight, 11 p.m. to 1 a.m. Eastern. Listen to us on Late Night in the Midlands Radio Network. Go to latenightinthemidlandsradionetwork.com and subscribe and donate. Anything you can do will help keep the network alive. Even if it's just a little donation, please help us out and keep us on air. Thank you, guys. I'll see you next week.
Bye.